We back on Locked On Canucks. My name is Kyle Bhawan. One love to FanDuel. Still getting a shout out this late into the episode. I love it. Anyways, Trevor Beggs, Kyle Bhawan, doing our thing, and I don't know, dreaming, assuming, talking about Trevor Zegras, A to Z so quick with the Vancouver Canucks. Some people, a lot of people, don't want Trevor Zegras. Okay, it doesn't make a lot of sense this season, and I'm with that. The Canucks need a bigger forward with some grit, not a player who can only score lacrosse style goals. Yo, look, what if in like 10 years it's normal, like very normal? I think people think it's normal now, but you know how a one-timer goes top shelf? What if there's just like, I don't know, 10 lacrosse goals a week? We don't know ish, man. We're 30 years old. The future is different.
That's the way the game's going, right? I mean,
Exactly.
yeah, there'll always be a place for physicality in hockey, though. And I know, Jimmy, appreciate you commenting, and we've seen those comments before, right? Jimmy wants a power forward, and I maybe not. I think there's intrigue with Zegras, but I would prefer a guy like I mentioned yesterday. Every day is probably no. Boone Jenner. Boone Jenner would be a guy who I think would be a fantastic for the Canucks for a playoff run. I'm going to keep bringing him up too.
Honestly, I just thought of the craziest thing ever, man. I was going to say you should name your next son Boone whenever that happens, right? Boone Beggs. But I'm like, I'm going to take that name from my future son, Boone Bhawan. Unbelievable, man. That is something else, man. We figuring out life on Locked On Canucks, and I'm figuring out this. I can't believe this just happened, okay? The disrespect that I've been spewing Tyler Myers for years and years and days and days and days and days, it's slowly disappearing. But at the same time, I feel as if I'm disrespecting him even more day by day. I'm sorry, because I never knew this. Is this true? Junior is telling us that Myers, in 41 games this season, has 18 points and is a plus 16, a.k.a. if the Canucks move him at the deadline, he's probably worth the first. What?
Yeah, maybe not quite that much based on the cap hit, but yeah, Tyler Myers, man. Like, this might be the biggest miracle, the biggest accomplishment of Rick Tocchet, Sergei Gonchar, Adam Foote, and this coaching staff is resurrecting Tyler Myers' career. Look, I think we've still seen those moments out there where, he's bobbling the puck and he's not making the smartest play right now. But man, oh man, Tyler Myers. Okay, last year, I'm going to bring up the Athletic player card quickly. Last year, Tyler Myers had negative value. It showed his salary being $6 million, and him being worth like negative 600,000 or something like that.
He sucked. He was
basically
one of the worst.
His value was like negative 6.6 or negative 6.9. Nice, negative $6.9 million. Like, it was ridiculous. He had negative value.
He was Luca Spiza.
Spiza, dude, it was worse than Spiza. Like, Myers was brutal. And this season, we see a guy who, is smarter on the boards. He's defending the middle of the ice better. He's got more support. So it shows that I think Tyler Myers, in the right system, is a better hockey player than what we've given him credit for during his time in this market. And now look at his market value this season. No, not $6 million, okay, but $2.6 million, okay? So a high-end third pairing, maybe even a low-end second pairing defenseman, right? And that's kind of what we've seen from Myers this season. Like, to me, that $2.6 million market value makes sense for what we've seen from Myers. Again, lots of time on the penalty kill, laying the body, putting up some points as well. Tyler Myers had 2 goals in like 100-plus games entering the season. Now he has 3 goals in the season. So much that I've loved about Tyler Myers, man. And tell Kyle, am I wrong? Is this not the biggest miracle, the biggest accomplishment of this coaching staff so far?
You know what? In life, man, I don't mind getting proven wrong, especially by those, those that I respect, those that I want the most from, right? AKA the Vancouver Canucks. So if they're going to shove it up our rear end when we talk ish about them, so what? It is what it is. Thank you very much. I like it there. What? I like being proven wrong, okay? I like being proven wrong by players on the Canucks. And again, I don't know how I didn't mention games ago that this, again, was one of the biggest miracles, because you're right. You spewing that little spiel made the most sense in the world. The Vancouver Canucks are a much better team, and Tyler Myers producing a miracle is a big reason for that. And he's only able to produce that miracle because he's doing less, aka playing less, but ultimately, again, doing less. Why is he doing less? Maybe Tocchet's gotten to him, but simple math, okay? Simple physics, simple calculations. Again, he's playing less. And Beggsy, to slap you in the face, what's the word? To slap you in the face, okay, metaphorically. This is a big reason why I don't want Quinn Hughes and Filip Hronek to ever be split up. I don't want to even take the chance that minutes would be more shared throughout all the pairings, because that's what you ultimately do when you're now You know what I'm saying? If you split those guys up, it's just asking for way too much. In the playoffs, you need pillars. Like pillars have won before in the past. You know, those guys who play 26, 27, 28 minutes a game in April all the way to June. And Philip Roenick and Quinn Hughes, they've shown so much chemistry. Yeah, they've been not the same like they were for an extended period of time in October, November. But in the last 2 games and last 3 games, they're back. They've shown that they're back. And if they're able to keep that the whole way through and then ride those guys with more minutes, it allows guys, not only guys like Tyler Myers to play less, but all these other guys that on other teams may not actually be top 4 defensemen, because we're still talking about Ian Cole, Carson Soucy, Tyler Myers, Nikita Zadorov, and Noah Juleson. Not one of those guys is arguably like known to be a top 4 defenseman. You know what I'm saying? So maybe we
Yeah.
just need to ride the top 2. Yeah.
It seems very much like the Pittsburgh Penguins circa 2016, 2017, doesn't it, right? A lot of guys don't scream top 4, but they got the job done collectively. Man, there's a couple points I wanted to bring up there. I think first and foremost, if you split up Hughes and Hronek, I could see Myers playing even less hockey potentially, right? Because with Hughes and Hronek, Myers is sometimes your second pairing defenseman, right? Now, I think there's kind of like a 2A, 2B pair there, right? Between what was it recently? We had Zadorov, Juleson. That was probably more of a third pair last night. But in general, it seems like there's been a 2A, 2B. So I don't know. If you split up Hughes and Hronek, I think Tyler Myers is kind of locked in as your third pairing defenseman, right? But regardless, again, like I look at what's happened this season, and to me, he almost seems like Brandon Sutter 2.0 in a way, right?
What?
And the reason I say that is because with Brandon Sutter, again, same thing, 5-year deal. It was a mistake from the get-go. But it seemed like the sentiment around Brandon Sutter changed towards the end of that contract. Like the end of Brandon Sutter's contract was that COVID season. He had 9 goals in 40-something games. I think we were starting to respect what he could bring defensively to the table. It was a bad season, so I think maybe Sutter looked better than he actually was.
Holy.
But now we're in a similar situation with Myers. He signs that 5-year deal, gets chastised with the entire contract, rightly so. Now we're at the end of the contract. You're just like, do you bring this guy back on a $1 million, $2 million per year deal? I mean, that's what happened with Sutter. Could you see the same thing happening with Myers?
I don't know. Like that to me actually seems impossible now because of how he's playing this season. Dude, we saw Eric
He's not making
Goodbranson,
$6 million.
but he might be making 4.
Oh, I'd be surprised, but you never know.
Okay, you know what? Again, we gotta put this on a t-shirt. Look at these stats, bro. Look at these stats. He's still got like the name still got some pedigree, you know? Like Eric Goodbranson signed for $4 million. Luke Shen signed for like 3 plus, you know?
Yeah,
So
Tyler Myers is also going to be 34 on February 1st here.
I guarantee somebody's gonna offer him 2 years at $8 million, 2 years at 9. Something like
no way. No way.
if he finishes the season with 40 points and is like a plus 30, like you don't think one team like Eric Goodbranson got a 4-year deal worth $16 million.
Yeah, Goodbranson at the time was around 30 though, right? Like you start talking about 34, it's a bit different, right? I could see Tyler Myers getting like an Ian Cole contract, maybe not a 1 year, but even a 2-year, like a 2-year.
No,
$6
you're right.
million.
I forgot 34 was a new 40. You know, I forgot.
In the NHL,
you know why?
Yeah.
You know why I forgot? Because you and I are there, man. Unbelievable, man. Yo, honestly, shout out to everyone on Locked On Canucks. You know, more subscribers. The ups are happy. Who knows? Down the road, maybe, just maybe, more money. And if that's the case, I'm going to Turkey because again, I'm getting older. The hair's flying away, dude. It's flying away. So I need to fly to Turkey to get the job done. And I want to get there knowing that it wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for the people at Locked On Canucks. For real, man.
I'm gonna come with you, bro.
Oh, dude, we're both getting it, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to you and you and you and you. The Vancouver Canucks doing the most, and the people again. I'll say for the 3rd time, everyone is starting to feel as if they're themselves again in our universe, and I'm blessed.
Let's go. One last thing I want to mention on Myers is he's played all 41 games so far. If he plays another 41, if he plays all 82 games for the Canucks, he will hit 1,000 games at the 82 game mark. So shout out to Big Sexy. Let's bring back that nickname, man. Tyler Myers is Big Sexy, buddy. Let's go.
Big Sexy, dude. I wish they called me Big Sexy back in the day. Big Sexy B.
Not too bad no one called you that, eh?
I've never been called sexy in my life, man.
That's not true.
I've been called nice.
He's a nice boy. Let's talk about some nice boys on the other side, and they are Patrik Allvin and Jim Rutherford. But before I do that, I got to shout out Jace medical.